So our first menu item is a soup, and this is really one that could almost be a meal in itself. It's one that's nice and hearty. Again, lots of vegetables. You have the healthy lentils that are in it, some nice herbs and spices, and because of the texture of the lentils, I think you'll find that you won't even miss that you're not having meat. So it's really a nice ingredient. And so to start with, what we have are some onions that have been chopped. You can just do a coarse chop, and those are sauteing in just a little bit of olive oil. Our onions really pretty much where they need to be. So what we'll do then is go ahead and add our second ingredients. So again, those are the tomato paste, the peppers, the garlic, and the oregano. And it's good to add those early on so they help to season the onions and just spread those herb and spice flavors around just a little bit. As you can see in the pan, you have just a little bit of some dark spots in there. All of those are things that really taste delicious, and so we don't want to lose those. Plus, if you can deglaze your pan, it also makes it easier to clean, which is another bonus. So we're just going to add the vinegar, the red wine vinegar. We're going to stir that around, and as you can see, it's pulling up those little bits. So those are going to get added to our soup. It'll make it tastier, and again, it'll make it easier to do our cleanup. So then the next thing that we're going to do is add 1.5 pounds of diced tomatoes. And these are just plain tomatoes, so there's no salt added. They're organic. You could use fresh if you want to, but to make it quick, we're just going to use canned ones today. And we're going to stir that again. We just want to try to get all of those seasonings to coat our tomatoes. And then the next thing that we're going to do is add our stock. And what I'm using for stock today is something called Better Than Bouillon. This is really a great product. It's 1 teaspoon per cup of water. And then I just dissolve that in the water. And we'll go ahead and pour that in. And then we have our lentils. And did you want to pass the lentils around for people to look at if you haven't cooked with them before?
You know, lentils, I mean, they're a tiny, how tiny they are, and we'll pass these around, but they're a tiny, nutritionally mighty member of the legume family. And legumes are a group, the food group that has beans, peas, dry beans, peas, and lentils in it. They're a low cholesterol fiber, and that type of fiber is called soluble fiber. And soluble fiber, it forms a gel in our digestive tract. It acts like a sponge that grabs onto cholesterol and then removes it from our body.
We've got this to a simmer. This is back to our soup. I'm going to go ahead and put our kale and our basil in too. So I'm going to go ahead and cover our kale. You might have noticed too that I did the kale in 2 batches. You know, it's one of those things that's going to reduce pretty quickly, but it has a lot of volume, so it might be hard to get all of it in the pot just at once. And this is an organic baby kale. It's already 3 times pre-washed, so simple to use, doesn't require any chopping. All you need to do is just throw it right into the pot. So yep, nice and simple, and again, healthy and delicious. Yeah.